You're watching Fox 9 all day.
All right, welcome back. Lauren is here. So glad that you're with us today because I know you're a big fan of this next person.
Oh my gosh, I'm her biggest fan. One of them. I know she has many fans. I've been following her for a very long time. Courtney Godfrey, is she here right now?
Courtney,
hello.
Hey. So Fox 9 reporter, mom, wife, oh yeah, also professional snowboarder. Recently named to Team USA Paris snowboard team. Courtney, we know you. We go way back, but there are a lot of people that don't know about this incredible part of your life. So tell us about this accomplishment being named to Team USA.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me. You guys are so kind. I love that I have fans and my coworkers. It's great because to me, you guys are just friends, your family, But it's true. My Fox 9 family has always been my biggest fan, so I love that. 8 years ago, I was in a boating accident and I lost the lower part of my left leg. Actually, Amy did an Emmy Award-winning story about my recovery, a fantastic story. You can find it online. Highly recommend watching it.
It was all you. It was all you.
And since then, it's just been a journey of, rediscovery and recovery. I actually, I look at the word recovery, and in the dictionary, the definition is to return to a place of normal. And for me, that recovery has never been enough. It's never been enough to just return to normal after losing my leg and going through this traumatic boating accident. So I've always reached to do a little bit more than that. And I was always a snowboarder before I lost my leg. I grew up in Northern California and grew up skiing, switched to snowboarding when I was about 10. My husband's a big skier. He grew up racing Gilboa here in Minnesota. So he made me an even bigger snowboarder because all he ever wants to do when we go on vacation is go on ski vacations. And I just got hooked up with the right people. And, a couple years ago, I took a leave of absence from Fox 9 and started pursuing racing, having never seen a race course before.
Wow, which is incredible, scary, Courtney.
But yeah, but we got good at it, and now I'm on the U.S. team.
Unbelievable, right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
For anyone to make it to, oh my gosh, look at these pictures. This is so official. Courtney, did you ever think you would be playing for a team of this caliber before the accident, or when did it start becoming? Did you realize that this was a possibility to be on this team?
I'm still in shock, because I do have a lot of learning to do. I started competing in 2021, 2022 with the hopes of making the team to go to the China Paralympics. And in the end, I just barely didn't make the cut for the team, and took the next winter off to have another baby. Last winter, I was really just focused on, reporting at Fox 9 and taking care of my now family of 4. And I went back at the end of last season just to keep my World Cup points active because that's how the sport works. I didn't want to get bumped down to the lower circuit of racing in case I did want to still pursue this. And showing up to a couple races last year, I was out of shape. I had not been on snow in a long time, so I didn't do well. But it was a reminder of just how much I loved it and missed it. And a few months later, I got a call from the U.S. coaches saying, we're putting you on the team. We believe in you. We see something in you. It's, you have a lot of work to do, but we think that with the right coaching and the training that you can get there. So now the new goal is the Paralympics in Italy next winter.
Wow. Yeah, amazing. Such an important part of your story is what happened 7 years ago and in the time since. I don't know I think we have some video of you, and I remember this so clearly, trying to walk for the first time with your prosthetic. I think, yep, that's what we have. So walk us through what this moment was like. It was so emotional and incredible.
Yeah, Amy, I've always been a naturally positive person. So from the beginning, I really chose positivity, and I knew that I wanted to impact others, and I wanted to do something positive with this horrible thing that had happened to me. And I know that not everybody's going to respond that way. That was my reaction, but definitely this was the first moment where I realized this is going to be a lot harder than I thought. You can't just put a smile on and say, well, we're going to turn this around, because trying to walk in a prosthetic leg is not easy. And, I had this fantasia that I was going to go in there, get a leg, and go out for happy hour with my girlfriends, maybe hit the gym. And the reality was it took me months to walk unassisted without crutches or a wheelchair. And it took me a year to feel comfortable. Now, I was back on my snowboard 4 months after I lost my leg, so I could barely walk on a prosthetic leg. But a good friend of mine is on the Paralympic team. He's a gold medalist, Mike Schultz from Kimball, Minnesota. And he visited me in the hospital the night after I lost my leg. And he said, your husband tells me you're a big snowboarder. I'm on the US team. I'd love to get you back on your board. And so 4 months after losing my leg, I went out to Powder Ridge in Kimball, Minnesota. And, you know, just to feel the wind in my hair, even though it hurt like heck, it was like that promise of like, your life is gonna go on. Like you are gonna live a full life. And the amazing thing is, I'm actually a better snowboarder today because of the training, because of the coaching. You know, it hurts, sure. It doesn't feel good to do it in a prosthetic leg. It felt way better to do it on 2 feet. But I rip now more than I did before. I thought I was a good snowboarder before. And now I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
This is so awesome.
So. I know.
Courtney, I've been following you on social media for a very long time. You've been very outspoken in sharing your journey and what you've been through, the good and the bad. How have these goals that you have, these like really ambitious goals, played a role in your recovery? Because I can imagine that's part of what helps you keep going.
Yeah, you know, I always say too, not just like snowboarding or doing those things, because when I was recovering, I actually found it really annoying when I would meet an amputee or get introduced to an amputee or see an amputee on social media who was like doing Ironmans. I'm like, okay, well, that's not helpful. You know, I don't feel like I'm going to run an Ironman. So I don't want people to feel like, well, I just went through this trauma, whatever it is, and I don't really want to be a US para snowboarder, or I don't want to run a marathon, and that's okay. I think that the big thing for me is just finding something you're passionate about and something to focus on. You know, goals, they don't have to be big goals. They could be, you know, running around in the yard again with your kids, you know, walking your dog. Those are good goals too. But just find something you're passionate about and put your trauma and your grief into that. And also, you know, for me, advocacy is really big. You know, I do a lot of peer support with new amputees, hospital visits, and just being an advocate on social media. And I do it for those other people, but also it heals a part of me. You know, it heals a part of that trauma for me in order to help other people through that phase.
Yeah, and we just have about a minute left here, but I just wanted to ask you along those lines of being an advocate and being on social media. We've talked a lot over the years about being an amputee, and you know, is that your identity, and how do other people approach you and talk about it? You know, there are people who stare there, and you always had some really interesting insight into that. If you want to share just a little bit of that with people who.
Yeah, like I'm about to go to the gym right now, and you know, at the gym, people will come up to me pretty frequently and say, wow, you know, you're so inspiring. I love to watch you do that. And there are days where it comes from a good place, but there are days where I just would like to do my workout and like not be an inspiration to someone, right? Although I will admit the things that I am doing on one leg are impressive, right? I mean, I get it.
Yeah, you have to own it to some extent, right, Courtney?
Yeah, right. I get it. Like the US team workouts that I'm doing are no joke. But I think that being open about it, especially as a mother myself of 2 little kids, just how you choose to see us and place us in your everyday talk, right? So like with my kids, what I like to do is anyone who's using a mobility device or has a disability like a wheelchair, my kids will ask. And I just say, well, you know, that's how they get around. Like you and I are going to the store right now. They go on wheels, and isn't that cool? That's how they get around. I just talk about it very like it's normal, so that to them, they're not different.
Yeah.
They are just like anybody else. And that to me, I think is how we reach equality is in the disabled community, is when we're treated no different because of our physical disabilities, and that we're just placed in the same circle as you and me, and we're approachable. We are normal people, and don't be afraid.
Yeah, I love it that you've taught a lot of us so much in that space. Just really quickly, you've been kind of part-time-ish with us because you've been training, and you leave soon, right?
Yeah, I leave in 8 days. So I had to look at the date on the calendar because I have not started packing. I'm going through my list. Like, I think my goggles are scratched. I need more lenses. I need a new helmet. I cracked my helmet last year. I got a concussion going off a big jump in a race. I need a new helmet. I've got my race boards up against the wall over here. They need to be tuned up. But yeah, we leave for New Hampshire in 8 days, where we have a 2-week training camp, and actually we'll be training alongside the Olympic border cross team, which, like, I'm definitely nervous about that. But Waterville, New Hampshire, they open up their resort early for the US team so that we can train. They build a border cross course for us so that we can train. And then I move to Utah, and I train in Utah all winter, and then it's a lot of traveling around Europe over the winter, a lot of time away from my kids, but hopefully my kids one day can look back and be proud of what I've done.
Oh, they are. Cal and Frankie are super proud of you, as are we, and you've got a great husband who is your partner in all of this too, so shout out to Ryan.
I could not do it without Ryan, because he is super dad when I'm gone for weeks at a time.
Yeah. All right. Well, we love you. We're super proud of you, and of course we'll be following your journey on social media throughout the coming months. So go get him.
Yeah, give me a follow. I'm on Instagram, Courtney M. Godfrey on Instagram. So follow along.
Okay. Thanks, Court. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
She's so cool.
I mean, this is cool, isn't it? It doesn't get any cooler than that. She's just awesome.